Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me and Roxanne on Patreon, in our Woke Wild Women community. I'm Bethany and I am going to be recording a full moon and Capricorn reading. The full moon is on July 4th, so happy Independence Day as well. So full moon and Capricorn. For one, it's a full moon eclipse, so it could be like, I think it's doubly intense, if that makes sense. But so full moons are about completion, right? Things coming full circle. Specifically what Roxanne and I were feeling was like it's the end of a tough cycle. So we've all been going through difficulties, you know, even before COVID, but especially this year with COVID and the Black Lives Matter and just all that stuff going on in the collective. But the energy is more about not allowing yourself to get sucked into your emotions, because Capricorns are very practical. They're very grounded. It's an earth sign. They're hardworking. And so there was a lot about needing to have a plan. So instead of focusing on the problem, right, and getting sucked into the fear and, oh my God, this and that, it's about, okay, what can I do about it? Problems, and what's the problem? And finding creative solutions and all that. And it's time to stop fearing the worst, you know, because that just gets us sucked back into the fear cycle that seems to be perpetuated. Wow, there's a lot of, all three cards are cups that came out. So it does have a lot to do with our emotions, being emotionally mature and be able to handle things. And yeah, something was like, you don't want to rush. You don't want to be wary of rushed thinking. Don't rush yourself. Slow and steady. You know, Capricorns are slow and steady. What else? But when you do slow down, you may have heightened sensations. You may perceive things more acutely, and especially in full moons, things are at the surface, right? That's usually what happens. My son was so moody today and like just getting upset at everything. And at one point in the car when we were driving, I was thinking, I was like, what is going on? Is he tired? Is he hungry? Those are always my go-tos. It's like, usually he's tired or hungry or something. But I was like, oh, it's a full moon tomorrow. So yeah, it's just, I don't think people realize sometimes that it does affect us, and it's a full moon eclipse. So yeah, let's see what comes out. And pull one more and then I'll wait to turn them over. And be sure to check out Roxanne's embodiment practice, movement practice, to help with these energies and moving them through your body, or just assisting your body to deal with whatever is coming up for you. Okay, so the first one that came up is the Seven of Cups. So this can be about daydreams, daydreaming, like fantasy, having a lot of options though too. Like it could be about choosing, like looking at your options and basically planning your life. I feel like it's more about looking at what, so it's about like having a lot of opportunities presented to you, or seeing all of the opportunities that are available to you. When you slow down, you're able to see things more clearly, right? Then we have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is about celebrations. It's about getting together, which is kind of odd since we're still being told to, you know, quarantine, or not quarantine, but just like, you know, social distance and not spend as much time in groups of people. But it can just be, it's the feeling of celebration. It could also be, you know, a card of like drinking, and because, you know, when it's like these people celebrating at a wedding, that's generally the theme. So coming together, and that just that feeling of joy and celebration. I heard laughter, like tapping into your joy basically, and with other people. I mean, there are still some, you know, we can still see some people, right? Hopefully. But then we have the Five of Cups. So then I'm feeling like these three cups that spilled over is like this, is like these three cups that we so maybe there is an element of I feel like I am picking up on the COVID stuff right now, at least like the missing of being able to celebrate and come together with people. Maybe it's having an effect on us and we're kind of realizing it. It's kind of coming up. It's bringing up probably our frustrations, our anger, our sadness, our grief, that maybe we haven't processed before. So I feel like possibly the Seven of Cups could be fantasy, like living in our heads and even though it's a cups cards, which represent our emotions, could be about living in a fantasy, kind of like looking at other things, distracting ourselves. And now we're kind of realizing we're allowing ourselves to grieve. And I feel like maybe that's what the full moon's going to be bringing up. Or like I said, that could be the end of it. So, because a lot of it is like a tough cycle. The end of a tough cycle approaches is one of the themes, you know, and conclusions are within reach. So maybe we're still going through this and it hasn't fully happened, or maybe it has, I don't know, or maybe, you know, we're on the tail end of it. Take whatever resonates for you. 2 knights, wow. So then we have the High Priestess, and that's right underneath the 7 of Cups. So the High Priestess is about our intuition, things that are hidden, tapping into realms that are unseen. It's like, you know, the hidden book of knowledge, that kind of energy. But it's really about tapping into your intuition, your inner knowing, your magical, mystical. I got distracted by something on my phone. Your magical, mystical side. Okay, thank you. I got my DoorDash like 30 minutes ago, so thank you for telling me it's there. Anyways, but then we have the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles, oh my God, it's telling me like 3 times. The Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady wins the race. Like that's this energy, that Capricorn kind of earthy, grounded energy that I was talking about in the beginning. That's this. So it's the slowest moving action card in the deck. So Knights are about action. This is the slowest moving one. You'll see he's not even moving forward. Whereas the Knight of Cups is, at least the horse is moving forward. You see the difference? So, through our processing of our grief, through us slowing down, through us realizing, you know, that we have a lot of options, and so slowing down and realizing that, and allowing ourselves to grieve over things, that even if it's not just the COVID stuff, it's like brought up all kinds of stuff from the past. We're allowing our intuition to guide us to move slowly towards what it is that, to me, this is about an offer of love, where it can be about taking action towards what is emotionally fulfilling for you, whether that's you offering something, or, you know, you going towards something or offering something to somebody that's you feel deeply connected to, because it's a cups, and then, or it's maybe someone doing this to you, like bringing this opportunity, this gift, the offer of love to you. So it doesn't have to be a relationship, but it can be, or it can be something you just feel deeply connected to, like I said. So a career, a job, any type of other relationship, if it's not romantic, friendship, whatever, with your child, parents, anything. So I'm getting that, like, we're going to be able to see which direction to go. And we're going to actually be able to make it happen in the physical world, because we're slowing down and doing it at a slower pace. Because like I said, there a lot was coming up around, be wary of like rushed thinking. Like, you don't want to rush things, whether that's a relationship, whatever project you're working on, anything. Don't rush things. Yes, then we have the Page of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, which is a fast moving energy, but the Page of Pentacles is about an idea forming. Oh, this one come out. That one wants to come out too. And this one, Jesus, okay. I'm not sure, like this one wants to go here. Wow. A lot of great energy. So we have the Page of Pentacles. So that's like after, I feel like this, you know, it's always a progression, like in a story that I'm telling, but so we've been going through, I feel like this is the tough cycle that is closing, is this first row, which is the 7 of Cups, the confusion, the distractions, fantasy land, seeing all the opportunities, the 3 of Cups, the celebrating, the getting together, Or, you know, it's about, I really feel like it's more about the missing of getting together, because then we have the Five of Cups. I feel like those go hand in hand, because I was noticing the Three of Cups he's looking at spilled over. It's like we're grieving over the things that, basically how we used to live our life. We're realizing things aren't going to go back to normal, quote unquote. They're going to change for good in a different way. And so we're, you know, we've been allowing ourselves to grieve. That's the end of a tough cycle, is we're realizing things are not going to go back to the way they were. So we've pulled up our big girl, big boy panties, listened to our intuition, got in touch with ourselves, because we're kind of forced to, you know, stay inside and be with ourselves. You know, that's the High Priestess, like listening to our intuition, tapping into that hidden knowledge that we all have access to, slowing down and doing things in a more steady pace rather than rushing through things, which in our society, it's like, do, you got to do, take action. But instead, you know, we do have two action cards. And so, but the action can be slowing down, being grounded, staying in place. And then the Knight of Cups, the other action card, is about, instead of choosing like the swords or the wands, which is like kind of reckless or, you know, quick in and out movement, those two energies, instead of that, we're doing these, which are a lot slower. And the cups represent our emotions. So we're really being guided by what is fulfilling to us. So we have the Page of Pentacles, and that's when we're able to hear the ideas, see the ideas forming, excuse me, get the, I just ate, so get the messages and, you know, hear that connection with divine and our source in order to create, like, and seeing how we can actually make the changes in the physical world, because we slow down. And then from there, it's like movement can happen. We realize how fast things can actually happen when we actually sit and don't force movement. We magnetize, or we fully form the ideas and flesh it out and edit and make sure we're taking action on the things that we really want to do, instead of just being reckless about it. And, you know, we're going to realize how quickly things can move forward. This card's about fast movement forward. It's also called the Arrows of Love, but eights represent manifestation. It's also the infinity symbol, you know. And then we have the Six of Pentacles, which is about reciprocity, you know, equal partnerships of give and take, or also being a philanthropist as well, or a humanitarian. Like, that's what I'm getting kind of, is because this guy's like giving to these people, but it's also about balance. And it's because he's achieved that balance in his life, he's now giving back, because he's able to do that. Again, and then again, we have another card of intuition. This is our feminine, our shadow side, but the moon is about intuition, and it's right under the High Priestess. And again, it's the full moon, and I feel like this moon is really important in the eclipse too. I forget like what the eclipse is, like how what's happening with the sun and the moon and why it's an eclipse. I don't know. I apologize. I'm just not like, I don't remember the details of it, but stuff's being illuminated, and we're going to be able to tap into it more easily because of the moon and the eclipse. And it's a full moon, so things are coming full circle, like tough cycles are ending for us. And then we have the Magician, which is having all the tools at our disposal, having everything we need to create what we want, and using our power for good. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is amazing. I mean, the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles are two of the best cards in the deck, because this one is about having everything: the money, the house, the family, you know, the spouse, the dogs, the cat, the car, like everything that you want basically, and being fulfilled emotionally as well, and being stable, and yeah, just being grounded in everything that you've wanted and you wanted to create. It's basically, we're learning a new way of manifesting and creating, whereas before it was like take action, do it this very masculine driven, with, you know, the feminine energy kind of on the back burner. But really we're realizing we sit, be still, listen, receive, and then take action. And I've been saying this for how fucking long, if you followed me, like that's how we create. Like that, like to me, that seems more natural, but yet it doesn't at the same time, because we've been conditioned in society to do it the other way. It's like, don't think, just take action, you know. So I think a lot of people are, you know, if you're resonating, it's just like we're realizing that it's yeah, we're just doing things differently when it comes to what we're creating and how, or more so how, but like also realizing what we maybe took action on before in the past was a little like, oh, I didn't think that through fully. You know, I just thought it was a good idea. And like in the moment, it's like, did you actually check in with yourself before making that decision, you know? Or think about the consequences, long-term consequences. I really feel like this whole COVID stuff is really making us look at our day-to-day actions, what we're doing, and how are they like supportive of who we want to be in the future? Like, are we just doing things for a short-term benefit, for an instant gratification type thing? So let's see. I want to do some self-care cards. How can we take care of ourselves during this time of doing things differently? Because inevitably we're going to be fighting against ourselves if we're conditioned to do it the other way, you know, the opposite. If we're trying to do something completely different, it's parts of us are going to try to protect us, be like, oh, this is new and different, and no, that's bad, you know? So yeah, let's see. Courage. Yeah. Take the leap. Your courage will see you through. So tap into this. I think that's Diana, if I'm not mistaken, the goddess Diana. But tap into any powerful warrior goddess or god or whoever you resonate with. And cats are coming up. So like I record now, I'm starting to record daily love and relationship readings on YouTube. Follow me if you want. I think it's at Empowering Authenticity or Bethany Evans. I'm not sure. I'll leave a link, but to my YouTube channel if you want to follow me. But I recorded one today and I was feeling the cat energy. I have a cat, but I have a cat tarot and I used it. And I talk about cat energy in there. And then again, we have the lions, which are large cats. So check out the video if you feel called. And then we have patience. Be patient, be willing to pass up good for great. So, you know, we really are being shown how maybe we've been impulsive in decisions and it didn't work out. And we realized we didn't really fully think it through. And we have to grieve things that didn't work out but we're forgetting that the reason they didn't work out is because they're not meant for us, or we want something bigger and greater and better. Not to say that the thing was bad, you know, that didn't work out, but there's that element of trusting that what is meant for you will not pass you by. That did come up, I think, actually, and we were planning and feeling into the energy too. So let's get one more self-care card. This one, action. Which I think is hilarious. Take action. The journey to find your lost self begins with one step. Do you see how there's like a lot of stillness also in this card? But I feel like, so you are going to be taking action. I'm not saying don't take action, but like you're going to be taking action in a new way. And I feel like this is a new path, and so you can't really see where it's headed either. That's kind of what it is. But like be patient, like as you have the courage to take new action, you know, like the action you know that you're meant to take, whether that's sometimes action can be slowing down, you know, and like not doing anything, just completely shifting in that way. And it's like you be patient with yourself as you choose to take new actions, because like I said, you're fighting against probably your nature of something you've been doing for a long time. So let's get one more. Really liking these actually for this reading. Come on. Oop, time. Where'd it go? Hold on. Schedule a sacred date with yourself. You deserve time for your life. So have you been focusing on other areas, you know, other people, other things that aren't really for you or your life or anything like that? I feel like there's you see how it's a child? Schedule a date with your inner child too. Like do something joyful and playful and fun. That'll help get you out of your head too. If you're struggling with slowing down and figuring out what action to take, like stop focusing on the problem for a sec and just like do something that gets your mind off of it. So let's see how we can help with that too. These are my Power of Surrender cards. Okay, those three might come out. what I said was really weird, or had way. I can't even talk. Still Mercury retrograde. Surrender your fear of change. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always, whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death. Repeat the affirmation. I have faith that all is well. So, I mean, it is scary to see, especially if we realize we have a lot of changes to make, or some big changes that are like completely opposite, like I said, of what you're used to doing. That's really scary. And I think that even if we know something's not good for us and we keep doing it, it's still going to be difficult to shift out of that fear and not give into it. Surrender the habit of people pleasing. Speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. Like, what did I just say about doing stuff for other people and not enough for yourself? That's pretty self-explanatory. And surrender denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. So are you in denial about some things? Like, be real honest. This is the time to be real honest with yourself. And I feel like this full moon's going to bring that stuff up and say, like, look, the reason you're not getting what you want, or the reason you're not making progress in this area, is because you're not doing things differently. Maybe you think you are, but you're not actually, you know? So it's about being honest with yourself, and don't be in denial about, okay, and just take responsibility for it. The way that my life is and has played out is all my own doing. So hashtag radical responsibility, which is really difficult. I struggle with that too, but I have to check myself on the daily. Well, you know, for the most part. Okay, this is my Osho Zen Tarot. Tarot. I don't know why I said that. I usually say tarot. I don't know why I said tarot. Success. 6 of Wands. That's a great card. Look how colorful it is. So 6 of Wands is about victory. I get one more. And I'll read these from the book because they have really pretty messages, and they're a little bit different than the typical tarot meanings. I like their... Osho was an interesting dude. Thunderbolt. The Tower. This is the Tower card. This, yeah, I mean, they're, okay, I'm gonna read. Let's see what comes up. Funny enough, the suit of fire, which are wands in the tarot, and this card is action. Okay. This character is obviously on top of the world right now, and the whole world is celebrating his success with a ticker tape parade. Because of your willingness to accept the recent challenges of life, you are now, or soon will be, enjoying a wonderful ride on the tiger of success. Again, a tiger, another cat. Welcome it, enjoy it, and share your joy with others. And remember that all bright parades have a beginning and an end. If you keep this in mind and squeeze every drop of juice out of the happiness you are experiencing now, you'll be able to take the future as it comes without regrets. But don't be tempted to try to hold on to this abundant moment or coat it in plastic so that it lasts forever. The greatest wisdom to keep in mind with all the phenomena in the parade of your life, whether they be valleys or peaks, is that this too shall pass. Celebrate, yes, and keep on riding the tiger. So that can be said of difficult times and successful celebratory times. So I mean, there was this element of celebratory. I'm going to get more into that because there is an element of, like I said, celebrating despite what's happening in the world. There's the Thunderbolt. Let's see. Thunderbolt is the Tower. The card shows a tower being burned, destroyed, blown apart. A man and a woman are leaping from, here, I'll show you, from it, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. Hello, COVID, and what's happening in the world. In the background is a transparent, meditating figure representing the witnessing consciousness. You might be feeling pretty shaky right now, as if the earth is rocking beneath your feet. Your sense of security is being challenged, and the natural tendency is to try to hold on to whatever you can. But this inner earthquake is both necessary and tremendously important. If you allow it, you will emerge from the wreckage stronger and more available for new experiences. After the fire, the earth is replenished, After the storm, the air is clear. Try to watch destruction with detachment, almost as if it were happening to somebody else. Say yes to the process by meeting it halfway. So I feel like this is picking up on the beginning energy. I'm going to pull one more because those are definitely two extremes, right? So maybe that's what a lot of people have been feeling, is the extreme of maybe before this COVID shit happened, is like being on a high, doing really great, and then this stuff happens and it kind of just like brings you down, and aloneness. That's the Hermit. Yeah, and so I feel like this is just picking up on what's coming to a close, is like it's showing the cycle of what COVID and all of that has done for us. Like it's kind of coming full circle. Where I feel like a lot of people in the collective are finally realizing in their own life and collectively and consciously what this has provided for us, and and in your own life. Aloneness. When there is no significant other in our lives, we can either be lonely or enjoy the freedom that solitude brings. When we find no support among others for our deeply felt truths, we can either feel isolated and bitter, or celebrate the fact that our vision is strong enough even to survive the powerful human need for the approval of family, friends, or colleagues. I mean, okay, so I feel like I was just saying, this is like kind of like what we've been experiencing, oscillating back and forth between being alone and figuring out how to handle that. If you're facing such a situation now, be aware of how you are choosing to view your aloneness and take responsibility for the choice you have made. The humble figure in this card, here, I'll show you, glows with a light that emanates from within. One of Gautam Buddha's most significant contributions to the spiritual life of humankind was to insist to his disciples, be a light unto yourself. Ultimately, each of us must develop within ourselves the capacity to make our way through the darkness without any companions, maps, or guide. It's basically what we were forced to do, right? Being quarantined, especially if you don't have a partner, or even like maybe you've had a partner, you have a family, but you realize how alone you've been feeling, or I feel like just it's been like, not necessarily that, it could be, but I kind of got a big no, don't say that, that's not what it is. It's more about what I was saying in the beginning about the grieving and like how we're choosing to see the situation. And there's a big lesson in that, is how are we choosing to show up? What are the stories we're telling ourselves about what's happening, about who we are, about how we cope with things, how we grieve, all of that. So let's choose a crystal card to see what can help us through these intense realizations, and in choosing to do things differently this time. There's a big, not don't take action, but be very careful about the actions that you take. And it's not a warning, it's a choose. That's where our power is and what we're choosing. So the actions that you choose to take are yours and yours alone to own and take responsibility for. Aquamarine. That came up. Oh, there's two. They're so pretty. And topaz. Aquamarine is a fancy type of blue beryl, and it's powerful coolant for the head and the heart. Who needs it? To those who run hot, fire signs, anybody hanging on to an unspoken burning desire. Where to put it? Wherever you need to turn that whisper into a primal scream, or if that's a little overly dramatic, wherever you want to speak clearly and calmly from the heart. When to use it: when you've lost your voice, when it's past time to let it go, or when you're feeling a little too en fuego for polite company. Ice yourself down with Aquamarine's cold shower vibes. And so it's about keeping your cool. Let's see this one. Oh, this topaz. Topaz is the world's hardest silicon-based mineral. Its name alludes to the Sanskrit word for fire. In the Middle Ages, it was believed to cure crazy. So who needs it? Anyone burning A, the midnight oil, B, the candle at both ends, C, bridges, D, all of the above. Where to put it? Wherever the action needs to happen. When to use it: when you're aiming in the right direction but keep misfiring. Passion is totally indispensable, but if you're not careful with it, it might burn you up. Call on Topaz to transform wild obsessions into laser-like focus and burning desires into getting things done. Increase your firepower. Dude, so for sure, I feel like if this one is like used to temper to temper the fire and the maybe like, I feel like this card's explaining why you need this crystal, this card, to cool it down, is maybe you've had a lot of passion, a lot of like, you know, energy moving in different areas, like with this seven of cups type thing, and about getting laser focused and choosing. And didn't I just talk about that in the beginning? It's just like choosing one direction. And I feel like I see how it all connects. I hope you do too. Sometimes I have difficulty putting it into words because I get super excited about it. So I'm gonna leave it at that and just choose one angel answer card. Oh no, is that what I want? Yeah, maybe I don't want that. I want my archetype cards. And then I'm gonna go and bid you adieu. Oh, Goddess. There's two that came out. Goddess and the Healer. So the Healer, the light attributes are passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. The shadow attributes are taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. I feel like that's what we're realizing. We see some people coming from with this whole COVID stuff, and those who want to take advantage and those who actually just want to help and heal people. And then Goddess. The light attribute is the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. And shadow attribute, exploitation of the female nature and form. I'm gonna read that one from the book and see what's coming up. Why is that coming up? Goddess, Deva, embodies wisdom, guidance, physical grace, athletic prowess, and sensuality. Shadow goddess manifests in extreme self-indulgence, as seen in movie stars and fashion models. Look for lifelong associations with the image and personality of a particular goddess, such as Athena, Minerva, the able-bodied warrior woman and power behind the throne, Venus, beauty and sexuality, Isis or Durga, motherhood, Oshun, East African Yoruba, goddess of pleasure, love, and beauty, Astarte, fertility and sexual love, or Kuan Yin, Chinese embodiment of compassion. So I feel like it's like perhaps, you know what I was saying in the beginning about the feminine energy and how that's what we create from, is I think that we've had such distorted views of feminine and like goddess energy, and some goddesses like have their names have been kind of like, you know, drugged through the mud, because it's not okay for women and feminines to be like like it's more acceptable for us to be nurturing and loving and compassionate and soft and whatnot. It's not as accepted for us to be outwardly passionate and sexual and strong and we getting angry and all those things. And yes, like because when we do it can be destructive, and we have to be careful, like with anyone, but that feminine power can be feared, and I feel like that's what it's pointing to. And I think it's also pointing to, are we looking outside of ourselves? If you're a feminine, I feel like this is for women here personally, but like if you identify with like feminine energy, are we looking outside of ourselves and comparing ourselves to like what is the perfect model or what is the perfect woman? Like, are we tapping into an inner goddess? And I think we've been lost in terms of our options for what is power, what is like we all have a different purpose, right? So it's like we don't have to just be like follow one model of what a feminine should be in our society. And tapping into any of those goddesses that were mentioned, I think could really support anyone who's listening, and choosing the one that you feel most drawn to. If it's Kali, which is, she freaking is the goddess of death and transformation, like then that's who you be. Like there's good in that energy as much as it is feared and all of that. And just like all of those examples, there's so many goddesses and so many divine feminines that you can tap into. And I feel like we're all kind of being called to support each other and work together in order to make a difference right now. And that's what's going to heal the planet. And that's what's going to heal what's happening in the world. So I'm going to leave it at that. That feels complete for me. Thank you guys so much for checking out our Patreon. And if you would like your own personal reading with me, you can find the information below. You can visit my website or email me at empoweringyouраuthenticity@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram at empoweringauthenticity or Roxanne at RoxyFlow. And then also follow my YouTube if you would like. I believe it's Empowering Authenticity is the name of my channel. Well, I mean, that's the name for everything. So if you search, you'll find me. And I do daily love and relationship readings. So I am sending you guys so much love. If you have any questions, please comment. Oh, well, we also want to know how these resonate for you and how they impact you. So comment here on Patreon or email us at wokewildwomen@gmail.com. And I'm sending you love. I'll see you later. Bye.